be out there in 90 different ways from here to Sunday in somebody's email, not understanding what Solivay represents. And it really is the passion that you all have for what Solivay is doing that makes a difference. So just sending it out there and not really putting the vision and the story behind what we're trying to do to connect and share and give that goodwill back to everyone, it'll lose the essence. So we want to make sure that we're not using this as a spam engine. We also want to make sure that you understand that just folks that are in the lane doesn't mean that they're registering for Solivay, for the mobile service. This is truly just a way to capture your leads and be able to manage and track them. And it's also not a guarantee that your referral will choose you as a sponsor. There's some working in relationships and being connected to folks. So we want to make sure that you have the ability to see who's in your team and continue to foster those relationships and connect with folks. And the reason that they're going to select you as their sponsor is because they do have that relationship with you. So it's not a guarantee, but I'm sure with all of the work that you all are putting forth that there's no reason why they would actually pick someone else. And who is the lane for? Well, I think that we've spoken to this at length, but the folks that are passionate about being a part of the Solivay revolution, which I know that all of you are, and are personally invited to join, and their personal connections, right? So you want to be part of this revolution. You're going to invite folks to join that you know and that you have relationships with, and it is all about those personal connections. So basically, everyone you know is part of what the lane is. And then last but not least for me, it's this piece of what do we need to do next. So for everyone out there, and you've heard us say this now for a couple weeks since the event, we want to begin inviting your personal connections as soon as you receive your personal invitation. And we are working diligently to make sure that happens by tomorrow morning. So everyone should begin inviting all of their personal connections. Team 144, you all have a little bit more work to do. We want you to make sure you're identifying and logging your top 12 by July 20th. And July 20th is important because we need to log that list of the 1728 and have them register to begin being part of the Solivay revolution. When they purchase their HTC1 and activate in our registration site, then they will also receive an invitation to join the July 25th webinar. At that time, they'll also get an additional invite and be asked to invite 12 of their folks to join on 725 as well. So Ryan has talked about how we're ahead of ourselves and how this has gone viral. We really expected to have about 2,000 folks, 1728, on the event on 725. And it's turned into more of being the 20,000s. And I know that it's something that you all want because I think I received at least 9 questions this morning about having your 12 join this call. So you'll have an opportunity for your 1728 to bring their 12. So with that, I'm super excited to bring Rudy on to talk to you about the system and give you a preview of what it's going to look like.
Hello, everyone. Thank you, Maria. All right, so the very first screen you're going to see, because the 156, all of you will be preloaded into the lane and will receive your temporary password to log in. And once you see that login screen, you'll put the temporary password, and you will now be in the lane. At this point, you can start building your personal network. As soon as you're logged in, you will see the lane overview at the top. And on the right side of the screen, you'll be able to enter your contact name and email address and go ahead and start sending those invites out. It's important that you do that right away. We've got a week to make that happen. And obviously, moving towards the 20th, we don't have a whole lot of time, and it's very important to get those invites out. So here you'll see your the invitation that your contacts will receive. Once they have received that branded invitation from Solivay, you will have a couple of important notes that you want to pay attention to that we did with this invitation. So we actually personalized it for you. Not only do we brand it, but we personalized it from you. So when they see it, they will see your name at the top. So from Rudy Borsalow to Maria Konchesky. And then at the bottom, they will also see that your name and your email address is also located so that if they have any questions, they can go directly back to you. And that's great because if at any point they're not quite sure what's going on with the lane, or if they have any questions about Solivay in general, they can go directly to you, and there's no question on who they got the email invite from.
Yes, so Rudy, if I can just chime in here and really talk about some of the important elements of this email and some things that we really have to just keep in mind as we're moving forward is if you go to the next slide here. So the lane is a way for you and your contacts to register for early enrollment prior to the national launch. I think we've said it at least 5 times during this call so far. But as we launch the lane, Solivay will start appearing in the mail systems across Gmail, AOL, MSN, Yahoo. And it's for the first time this weekend is when we're actually going to be in those mail systems en masse. So the traffic that I know that you all are going to start to invoke into their systems is going to be pretty massive. Please know that there are filters that they have in their systems that will put us in a place where we may have, and we know that, for example, AOL has a little bit more of a heightened awareness. So they may slow down some of the traffic of the email, and there may be slowness in the initial delivery of some of the emails. So please be patient during this weekend if you're seeing that it's taking a little bit longer than those 30 seconds that we're used to from an automated perspective, because it may take a little bit lower. And the other piece, if we can make sure that we're looking at the accuracy of the email addresses, it's imperative to eliminate any bounce backs because that also begins to flag spam across all of those mail systems. So we want to be cognizant and just continue to keep Solivay out there in a very, very positive way. As Ryan mentioned before, you all have done a phenomenal job in just keeping our positive sentiment at, almost 100%. So everything that we can do to continue that will be extremely important this weekend. And it really does start as soon as you receive that notification that you can start registering folks in the lane is when the emails will start flowing through the system. So we're trying to get those emails out to you as quickly as possible, but we promise to have them to you tomorrow morning. And I know that you all will do the right thing by making sure that you have the right email addresses and ensuring that you're sending it to your personal contacts. So, Reed, if you want to take us through the rest of the system, that would be awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. So here, if you select the Manage Your Lane tab, you will have the ability to sort and view how many acceptances and how many invitations and how many pending your personal network has. So what's great about this and what's really exciting for us is that we can actually now sort through your contacts, or you can sort through your contacts to see what that number looks like. It's a great way to identify who in your network has the most acceptances, if you want to move. So on the Select Your 12 tab, this is really, really important. So you will also be able to manage and sort and view all of your contacts so that you can see who in your 12 or who in your entire personal network has the most acceptances and pending invitations out there. It'll help when selecting your top 12. It's important to note by July 20th, we are going to be locking it. So our expectation is that you will go ahead and select those 12 and ensure that they know that at that point they will receive a registration link to go ahead and log in and pay for the activation fee and the new agency one that they'll receive.
Hey, Rudy, and if I could just add in here, so this is a special area just for you. Super exciting because, as I mentioned before, you all have those Excel spreadsheets that you've been managing, but this will really allow you, and only the 144 have this space. We'll open it up to the 1728 once they're selected, but this is a place where you can now see, sorted by the number of folks they have accepted in each one of those folks, right? And if you see that Mary has, 190, but Johnny only has 10, that you want to go and talk to Johnny, right? Or you want to make sure that you're selecting Mary and Joe because they have the most in your network. So if you can just make sure when you're going through this, do the due diligence and make sure that you're sorting it and selecting the 12 that are going to be, the best connections that you have. So this, again, is just a special place for you as the 144 to make that come to life.
Yeah, another key piece too on the right side of the screen, you'll see the timeline, and this will give you a reminder of the dates that we have out there so that you know if you need any reference to what you need to be doing at what time, it'll help along that process. All right.
Awesome.
So this is all based on the build-up for July 25th. This tool is a tool that was implemented based off of a vision that Ryan had regarding what do we do with all of the people who are not in the 12. This is going through all the way. The lane will be a tool that you'll be able to use all the way through our go-live date, our national commercial launch of Solivay. So right now the next major target is going to be the July 25th webinar. Each of us, or each of you, we want you building and focusing on building to that event. So as you start putting people in the lane, you're going to start seeing the selection process happen naturally. We're going to allow the growth and the selection of your Team 1728 to happen organically. Because of the extreme demand that's happening with Solivay, the only people that are going to be allowed to be in the system and be invited to the July 25th event are the Team 144 and their 12, which is Team 1728. When Team 1728 is selected, you will be able to invite your 12. So this whole entire tool is for you to be able to build to this event. The lane itself is for everyone. It is a selection process for you to know who to invite to the July 25th event. But we want you to get every single person you know into the lane. The lane will grow to what Ryan said, hundreds of thousands of people is what we anticipate the lane to be able to handle. And then as we communicate as a company, we'll be able to invite those individuals over into the process on the appropriate time. So key dates to remember. The lane will be opening July 14th and will run specifically during this section. It will run through July 20th. We want you to be building your personal networks as you are onboarding Team 1728. Now July 20th, we're going to head and finalize your 12 by going through the tool that Rudy just mentioned where you get to actually select your 12 in the system. That is a key part because that is the people that are building the lane out and providing the most volume for you. So it takes the selection process and makes it very simple. July 21st through the 23rd is when people will actually be registering for the process by buying their HTC One S, and will always be able, from that point forward, be able to be known as founding members of Solivay. Now, on July 25th, this process will ensure that those individuals, the 1728 and their 12 guests, will be the ones that are registered for the July 25th event. And on that event will be key for announcements going forward. You will not want to miss the July 25th mini Bellevue event that we're going to be hosting on July 25th. This is put in place for everybody starting tomorrow, so you can begin building your personal network to make sure that you get everybody in the system. So as you can see here at Corporate, we have been doing an absolute diligent effort to make sure that you have all the tools and resources in order to build your particular team.
And Rob, if I could just add in, we are the email that you saw up there, we're going to have it posted in the online member support tool. All additional reference points and this presentation will be available there so that you can make sure that you can look at it, give us any feedback. As you go through the lane, we'll be online tomorrow as well, so please provide us any insight or information or questions that you may have.
Thank you, Maria. The final parting note is we will be rebroadcasting this particular webinar for all of those that were not able to participate and attend today on this time slot. We will be rebroadcasting tonight at 7 p.m. Pacific time, and that link will be posted in the online member support community. So make sure that you reference there.
Yeah, and Rob, we're going to have all of the invitations out by tomorrow morning at 11 in the morning. So stay tuned and look at your emails because they're coming to you. Pacific Standard Time.
Thank you, everybody. Have a great day.